Hello, hello, everyone. You are watching WOLFpak Live, and I'm your host, Wendy Fortino. And we have a very amazing special guest. We have Isaih Quinones, who just won the Power Slap 10 middleweight title, and he has the belt to prove it. Do you have it with you, by the way?
I actually have it in my car. I brought it to work with me. I bring it everywhere I go, but it's in my car.
I would bring that everywhere. That thing is amazing. Well, if you don't already, you're probably going to see him. I saw it all over your social media. We're going to show some of that footage. We have some really fun things that I want to share. But what we're going to talk to Isaih about is, his involvement in Power Slap and what it's like to be the ultimate champion in this specific category. It's a pretty big deal right now because he is a part of history as we know it. Power Slap is fairly new. It's only been around for a couple years. So Isaih is one of the few people who is really, building a huge, strong, solid fan base. And we're so happy to have you. So thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. And how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm excited to get, what I do out there. And
Yeah.
it's super fun, especially when people, like yourself, set up a platform for us to, push us out even more.
Yep. Speaking of which, Power Slap is a very unique sport. I'm learning about it. I'm getting really into it. It's pretty exciting. The production is amazing. What in the world? Okay, it's also crazy sport. How did you even get into this? Like, what brought you here? Give me the background story on how you
I
got here.
mean, I grew up, I knew I could take a hit, growing up. I grew up boxing,
You can take
grew
a
up,
hit. I saw.
yeah. And I was like, I grew up boxing, so I knew I had a chin. And I would have to like spar with adults, when I was a kid. So my dad was tough Puerto Rican from New York. So I had to spar with the adults, wouldn't let me spar with other kids, or at least kids older than me. But I was actually working at Edwards Air Force Base, and I worked for the Department of Defense at the time. And I was just bored sitting at home during COVID because we were getting paid to sit at home. And I looked on Craigslist for like Deal or No Deal, Prices Right, like a TV show to be on. And I came across this link and it said, "Oh, slap fight." And it was actually the video where Dumpling is knocking out the guy with the tattooed eyeballs.
No
And I was like,
way.
yeah, I was like, I could do that. So I hit him up. They told me come down to LA, and I had a tryout where we had to hit a watermelon.
Are
And
you serious?
yeah, I broke the watermelon. And it was funny because that was the same day I also met the Crazy Hawaiian. Me and the Crazy Hawaiian were on the same show.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. How many people were able to break the watermelon?
It was only me and him that did it.
Wow.
So yeah,
Are you serious?
yeah,
Well, Crazy Hawaiian, he's a super heavyweight, so he has a
yeah,
lot more force to put on that watermelon. So that's impressive.
yeah. I probably weighed 205 at the time,
Yeah.
and that's when I was like light heavyweight. And yeah, we both hit the watermelon. They're like, "Dang, you're strong. Come back." So went back, and then we did a few matches in
Yeah.
Miami. Me and the Crazy Hawaiian flew to Miami.
Yeah.
We had a few matches with this YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and Dana White actually offered the guy money to take over the slap, and the guy said no. He wanted to be part of it still, and so he never sold to Dana. But then Dana started his own professional league, and I
Yeah.
got reached out to, and I said absolutely anything he's behind, I'm gonna jump on board.
I'd get slapped if Dana White asked, well, no.
Uh, be careful, we'll get you in there.
Okay, I'm not putting this out there. I don't want anyone to see me say that because I have to think about it. But yeah, that would be an interesting. I talked to Jackie.
Yeah.
We had her out here, and she was, she was talking about how odd it was to think about standing there and getting slapped. But when I first heard about that, I remember thinking it was a little bit odd. But honestly, it is so legit. When I watch those tournaments, I feel like it's exciting and almost more
It is.
in some ways almost more exciting than a UFC fight because people want that instant gratification. You
Yep.
see like a slap go back and forth and with like really awesome technique, and you guys are serious about it. You're like professionals, you are athletes. It really like takes your breath away. It really gets you into it. You guys make
Yeah.
it really exciting. So um Speaking of which, I have some fun things I want to talk to you about, but I want to show your I want to show like the highlight reel of your win.
Yeah.
Fortino, champion of the world, Isaih.
Could you imagine? And this is what he talked about as well, going right through. He stumbles up. That's a huge start. Striking that. I think he was fine.
Okay, I want to know, what were you thinking here?
I was upset because honestly, he tucks his chin a lot.
I noticed that.
He tucks his chin a lot. They're not supposed to. I mean, the refs are supposed to stop it and call it. And honestly, on that one, he moved back a little. When he did tuck his chin, he moved back a little. So I only got him with my fingertips. And that's why I was like looking at the ref. I was like, you're not gonna call that. So
yeah, I saw you in Power Slap 1 also. You were in Power Slap 1, right?
Yeah.
And I saw you doing a slap fight with somebody who tucked their chin really bad and they didn't call it.
Yeah.
It was, I remember thinking, wait a minute, he totally like pulled in and looked like he really braced himself. Yeah. So, and you're right here, you're going, hello, did you see that?
Kind of a little bit of movement.
Like, come on. Because I'm right on point.
Okay, so you sort of got knocked out, but you got right back up.
Yeah.
What's it like in that moment when you get knocked out? Is there like this fear that, oh my God, am I gonna be able to get back up?
Well, no. So like right there, that wasn't a knockout. That was just a knockdown, right? So he's just stumbled me. He phased me. I already knew I was fine, but I mean, what I was more upset about that whole thing was the fact that like we're supposed to place our hand and our whole hand is supposed to contact at the same time. Where he contacted me was like hit base of his palm, but I'm not one to sit there and cry about things, you know. I just go in there to finish a fight. But in that moment I just knew, take the time, let me, let the ref count, and as soon as I hear 8, I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah, you jumped up. You didn't just stand up, you jumped up.
I took my time, just gathered everything, just got my,
you're right. He's totally bracing himself.
Yeah. And it's like I just wanted to recover. I took my time recovering, and I just waited for the 8 count. As soon as I heard 8, that's when I got up.
Okay, so we got to watch this one because this one, man. So let's see. Was that a knockdown? That was a knockdown, right?
That was a knockdown. And then because he was stumbling all over the place, he didn't get his, gather. He didn't gather himself. He's still wobbling. That's where they stopped the fight, because he was still wobbling.
Got it.
And then actually, if you look at my Power Slap 1, where I got knocked down and I was wobbly like that, they called my fight the same exact way.
Yeah. I did see that. Let's see. This was Power Slap 10. So this was you. Hang on. This was the biggest power match in Power Slap history. So you have to tell me which one this was, because it doesn't say what Power Slap it was. So tell me which one this one was. What was this?
This is where I won the title. This was Abu Dhabi. So this was Abu Dhabi Power Slap 9.
Okay. Man. So they're calling this the biggest Power Slap knockout in history.
When I knocked him out, I knocked him out cold, and he was out for the count. But
yeah, he was.
It wasn't that one. It's the next one after that. But it was the biggest one in history because John Davis was the first middleweight, champion in Power Slap, and I was the first person to take it from him. So that's why it was super, super popular.
You have a really good technique. You do not tuck your chin at all.
No.
But you have your feet planted so firmly. You have such a good stance. I mean, you have this totally, like, you look so stable. I would be afraid to try to hit you.
Yeah, I'm like a brick wall, and everybody says it. Like, that's why he's even lucky. Brandon's even lucky. He knocked me down,
Yeah.
After going and taking 5 hits from John Davis, literally 5 weeks before, and then coming straight to this, like, he's lucky I wasn't 100%.
Look at your face, though. That's a lot. Which actually brings me to another thing that I want to bring up. This was kind of I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of funny. Let's see what obviously you can't duck or block, but what technique or strategy can you legally use to prevent getting knocked out? Oh, that's a good question. So you can't block a slap. What is the technique that you use to prevent getting knocked out?
I just work out my neck muscles, work out my trap muscles, and work out my jaw muscles. And like I said, it's not really. I mean, it is technique, but it's also genetics, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like when you brace, like I brace a certain way, I bite down a certain way, I time it so I don't fatigue my jaw. So there is a lot of technique to it, but yes, there is some genetics to it too.
I would just like flex every muscle in my body and just like, I don't know, just like bear down. I don't know. That would
I
be,
love it.
I don't know. I think I'd get knocked out. That looks intense. But I have seen people who don't seem to have good technique. It's definitely different when you see like professionals who really are like the champions. There's a really big range of
Yeah.
like even though it's a newer sport, I see a really large range. That actually ties back to the funny thing that I wanted to bring up. So this is going back to the funny thing I want to bring up. You came out after you won, okay? And Isaiah, I was laughing at this. This is really funny to me, okay? I've never seen this before where a champion of anything comes out and all of a sudden, like everybody, all the fans want to slap you. Like, oh, I want to slap the
Yeah.
champ. It was so funny because you came out and all these women were like lined up wanting to smack you.
Is that the video we posted?
Yes.
So
I don't
that's
know. Oh my gosh.
that's Chelsea. She's actually in Power Slap with us.
Oh, that makes sense because she
Yeah.
slapped you good. I was
But
like,
she was actually on the Abu Dhabi card, and she went against Paige Van Zandt.
I'm glad I asked you about this because this is what it looked like from the outside looking in. It looked like you came out and you won, and you had a line of people that wanted to like slap the champ.
Oh yeah, no, those are all our buddies. That's at the after party, and Chelsea came to watch us, and like I love them. They're awesome. She's a great slapper too.
That makes
She's
sense because
honestly,
Chelsea can slap.
yeah, she's honestly she's gonna go far in Power Slap.
Okay, so you knew what you were getting into and you let her
Oh
slap
yeah,
you.
yeah. So it was fun. We just had a blast, and of course I was a little drunk having fun, and yeah,
That's cool.
we had a blast at the after party, and I was like, yeah, come on, Chelsea, you could do it.
Like my face is already like it's already red. By the way, it's totally healed now. So how long does
Yeah.
it take you to heal that?
Oh, I heal fast. I heal fast.
You do?
Yeah, I was only a little swollen on that last one. I didn't swell much on the one before that. Usually it's just like a little black eye, goes away within a week. That's about it.
Yeah. And you have perfect teeth. Like, do the mouth guards really like you have to wear good mouth guards to protect your teeth, obviously?
Oh yeah, I have my dentist makes me a custom mouth guard, and Jackie goes to the same guy. So it's
Yeah.
like we go to the same person, and they mold your teeth, do an underbite. It's a really good mouthpiece.
Oh my gosh. What would you say to like some up and coming power slappers, people who want to get involved in this and they don't know where to start?
To be honest, is don't come in here thinking it's just a slap or it's just taking a slap. You
Yeah.
got to come in here acting like a professional athlete. I mean, only reason why I said a rematch with Brandon Bordeaux is because right now it's only me and him at the top. And me and him are the only ones that train the way we train. I mean, there's a few other, of course. I'm not going to say the only ones, but in other weight classes, there's a few people that train. I mean, Isaih trains super well. Like, there's a lot of people that train, but then there's some guys that just really don't take it serious.
Yeah.
Like, some guys just think it's just slapping, and it's
Yeah.
like you could see there's a reason why they're in the position they're in,
Yep.
But you got to train and be a professional athlete,
Yeah. Tell me about that. How do you train? What's
Uh,
the
I lift super heavy. I mean, I just build up my power as much as possible. I lift like a power lifter, honestly.
Yeah.
And then once it gets closer to the fight, I'll go ahead and I'll start cutting down and like just doing high reps and lightweight.
It's really interesting to me because you're a performance athlete. I mean, you have very specific ranges that you want to be strong in. You have certain muscles and certain body parts that you want to, help you when you like brace the slap, when you stabilize yourself. So you want to have really good stability, the way you
Yep.
plant your feet. you know, obviously it's genetic how you have such a long arm span. That's really good. And you have a good hand for slapping. I mean, those are genetic things, but
Yeah.
the way that you swing your arm and the strategy behind that, I mean, all of that is technique. And I mean, as an athlete myself, I can appreciate that when you want to be really good at something, you master the art in all of those things,
And
right?
that's all it is. It's like it's you got to train with the right people, go with the right coaches. Like I train with a batting coach. I train with a batting coach because of the way
Nice.
we
That makes
swing.
sense.
So it's like people who I mean are in the position I'm in. Obviously, got to put in the work. So and
Oh
I
yeah.
always put in the work. And it's funny because like people will post every day. Oh, I'm in the gym. I'm getting better. This and that. Like okay, like I don't post every day, but guarantee you're not working out harder than me.
This is pretty
Guarantee you
badass
when,
move
when
right
I
here.
showed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
I tell
you
people, I'm like, I train hard. I just, I don't post a lot about it, but that's just because I like to keep it private. But I train hard, and nobody's gonna train harder than me.
well, I can tell by the way that you said that with such intensity. That's how you have to go into your training. I mean, that's how
Yeah,
I look at it too. You know,
yeah,
you always assume that somebody else is potentially working harder than you, and you know,
exactly.
yeah. No, that you're an athlete through and through, and I think it's so badass what you're doing. I think you're part of history right now, which is so cool. Has it hit you?
Absolutely. It hasn't really hit me yet, just because I mean, I'm still kind of growing in it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like trying to get my Instagram up, trying to get
yeah.
people. I mean, it's fun. Like I went to my daughter's school today, and some little kid in her class like, oh, that's the Power Slap champion. Like that was pretty funny. And
That's
it was
cool.
like, I mean, you're getting recognized now more and more, but it's
Yeah.
like of course, we got a lot of haters too that are like, oh, CTE this, CTE that. I'm like, you guys have no clue. Like, we go through full workups, we get MRIs, CAT scans, everything. It's like we're getting checked, like, and nothing's changed in my brain. Like, they've
Hmm.
done their, scans, they've done all that. Nothing's changed. I haven't been damaged. What people don't understand is mostly superficial. Yeah, we get a couple of guys who get concussed, a couple of guys who get knocked out, but for the most part, it's superficial. It's on the face. We're not getting hit over and over again with gloves like boxing. It's like we're not sparring. We're not going and getting hit at the gym. It's like that's more dangerous than doing what we do. It's a couple slaps and then it's done. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I know one match is like what, like 8, 9 minutes long, but
Yeah,
by the time you guys go back, yeah. So it's not too
yeah.
bad.
And it's
Um,
literally like a few slaps. Of course, if you get the occasional flinch, you'll get a couple slaps in a round. But it's like for the most part, you only get hit max 5, 6 times. You getting hit max 3, 4 times. It's nothing crazy.
I'm getting so into this. It's crazy. I I have one more question for you.
Mhm.
Okay. How did you get your nickname? Because all the like top up and coming power slappers all have their own nicknames. Isaiah Pretty Boy. I mean, that goes without saying, obviously, you're attractive. But how did that kind of fruish?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Obviously everybody recognizes my smile right off the bat. But then I mean I was the guy would show up, dressed the best out of everybody else. I hold myself a different way. Like I came in there all, dressed fresh, and people would always call me Nicky Jam because they think I look like Nicky Jam. And then somebody gave me the nickname like Nicky Slam, and they were like, no, like that's not a good one. And I was sitting there at Power Slap 1, and some of the girls there doing our signups were like, oh, look at you, like you're a little pretty boy, like your eyebrows all done, you're smiling, like you dressed all fresh, and that's how I stuck. So he's just
That's cool.
one of them just said it like, oh, you're a little pretty boy. So, and I love it because people underestimate that name. Obviously, like they're gonna be like,
Right.
oh, who's just a pretty boy? And they're like, they take votes like, oh, who do you think's gonna win based off the name, like John the Machine or
Pretty
Isaiah the Pretty
Boy.
Boy? Yeah, it's like,
That's a good
yeah,
cover. I like that. That's smart. It's like
yeah, I
like
love
like kind of like manipulation of your,
it.
yeah, I like that. Kind of
Exactly,
let them underestimate you, think that you're gonna be like some pretty boy coming in, and then bam.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's good. That's good.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, this is I want to talk to you so much, and so we're gonna have to
Yeah.
have you back. This was a little bit of a shorter interview, but you have, I mean, your best days are still ahead of you. We have
Oh,
so much more to
absolutely.
go over. We have so many more titles to win. I mean, you've got a long road ahead of you. We've got a
Oh
lot to
yeah,
cover in the
I plan
future.
on defending this title, beating Brandon again, And this time I'll be 100%, so it'll be even worse. You know, I won't let it come to a decision whether they're gonna stop it or not. I'm gonna knock them out. And I mean, like you said, I'm gonna be at the top for a long time.
Can I bring you both on together? He's pretty good. He's good too. I think I should bring you both on. That'd be awesome.
Let's do it. I mean,
let's do it.
I would do it. Like ours was the first match. I mean, unfortunately he still hasn't finished the match. You know, all his matches have gone to decision. This was the first one that it was actually stopped. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a good match when we finally come back together.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys both back before the Power Slap 11.
All right.
Okay, let's do it. Sounds good. Awesome. Well, Isaih, thank you so much for coming on and, you know, joining me and letting us know a little bit more about your history and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
And I'll let you have the final word. What do you want to say to your fans and everyone who loves you?
Everybody, thank you for supporting. All the haters, keep hating because you're still giving us attention. That's fine. But yeah, Brandon, you already know. I'm in the gym getting ready. You already know it's coming to you. So let's make it happen.
I'm bringing him on too. I'm gonna bring you guys both on. All right. Well, with that said, everyone, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the flip side.